You know, we all think we know the Grand Canyon, right? It's this absolute masterpiece of geology, a story etched in rock over 2 billion years, all carved out by the Colorado River. But here's the thing, that's just the official story.
What if that official story isn't the whole story? What if, just beneath those sun-scorched rims, way off the tourist trails, the canyon is hiding a completely different kind of story? We're talking lost civilizations, otherworldly portals, and secrets so huge, so profound, that maybe, just maybe, they've been hidden on purpose. So yeah, let's get into it. First up on our journey into the unknown is the big one, the one that just won't go away. We're talking about the claim that an ancient Egyptian colony, a whole outpost, existed deep inside the walls of the Grand Canyon.
Now listen to this. This quote, it's not from some random internet forum. This was on the front page of the Arizona Gazette back on April 5th, 1909. It tells the story of an explorer, a guy named G.E. Kincaid, who supposedly stumbled upon a huge man-made cavern. And get this, he said it was filled with mummies, copper tools, and artifacts that looked Egyptian, maybe even Buddhist. I mean, if that's true, that changes everything. We're talking contact with the old world thousands of years before Columbus. It would totally rewrite the history books. So you're probably asking, okay, so what happened to all this stuff? Well, the newspaper stories said the Smithsonian Institution was involved, but when people started asking him about it, bam, total shutdown. They denied everything, said they had no record of a G. Kincaid, no record of any artifacts, that the discovery just never happened. Now, for a lot of people, that wasn't the end of the story. It was the beginning of a whole new one, a massive cover-up designed to protect the official version of history no matter what.
And then there's this. This is where it gets even weirder. Decades before Kincaid's story even broke, the guys surveying the canyon back in the 19th century were giving names to all the big peaks, but they weren't using local names. They were naming them things like Isis Temple, the Tower of Ra, Shiva Temple, all these names from ancient Egyptian and Eastern mythology. So you gotta ask, right? Were these guys just being creative, or were they trying to tell us something, leaving behind a kind of coded map pointing to a history that was being erased?
Okay, so if you thought lost Egyptian cities were wild, buckle up, because this is where the story goes from hidden history to straight-up high strangeness. We're talking about portals, actual portals to other worlds.
You know, long before any of these modern theories popped up, the indigenous peoples who have lived there for centuries already knew the canyon was a sacred, powerful place. For the Hopi tribe, the canyon is home to the Sipapu. And the Sipapu isn't just a symbol, it's believed to be a literal place of emergence, a portal where their ancestors traveled from an entire world beneath the ground into our world. Think about that. It's a fundamental part of their belief system, and it lines up perfectly with this idea of a hidden underground civilization. And this idea of a massive, world-changing event isn't just with the Hopi. You see it in so many other traditions. The Hualapai, the Havasupai, the Navajo, they all have stories about how the canyon was created, and they all involve a massive cataclysmic flood. Now, the details are different, of course. In one story, a hero carves out the canyon to drain the water. In another, ancestors become fish to survive. But the core idea, this memory of a great flood, is always there. It's like this powerful shared memory of an event that literally reshaped their entire world. Okay, so now we fast forward to a much more modern story. And this one is, well, it's pretty out there. In the 1960s, this guy, Hank Craftsman, comes forward with an incredible claim. He says his Hopi friend took him, blindfolded, deep into the canyon, right up to what seemed like a solid cliff wall. But when his friend told him to touch the rock, his hand went right through it. He said he walked through this portal, through a bunch of chambers, and then boom, an entire massive, high-tech city opened up in front of him, totally hidden from the outside world. Of course, he could never find his way back, but that story has become legendary for people who believe in the Grand Canyon portals. Now look, whether you buy into any of these stories or not, there's one thing that is 100% fact, and you can't deny it. Huge areas of the Grand Canyon are totally, completely off-limits. You just can't go there. So the big question is, why?
Okay, so if you ask the National Park Service, they'll give you a list of reasons that sound perfectly reasonable. They'll say, oh, there's asbestos from old mines in this area, or we have to protect sensitive bat colonies in those caves, or maybe it's for preserving fragile ancient sites, or just plain old visitor safety because the terrain is too dangerous. And you know what? On the surface, that all makes total sense.
But for every single one of those official reasons, there is a competing theory, a shadow theory.
These theories claim the closures are just a smokescreen, that asbestos contamination is the perfect excuse to keep people away from old mine shafts that now lead to secret underground bases, that protecting cultural sites is really code for hiding something incredible, like world-changing artifacts, or maybe even containing one of those dimensional portals.
And the canyon's physical location just throws a whole lot more fuel on that fire. I mean, think about where it is. It's smack in the middle of America's UFO heartland. You've got Area 51 just a stone's throw away. It's right next to the Nevada Triangle, this area famous for planes just disappearing. And it's not far from Dulce, New Mexico, ground zero for the whole rumor about a secret human alien underground base. It's no wonder people constantly report seeing strange lights and super fast objects zipping through the canyon. So what is it really? What is it about the Grand Canyon that makes it this incredible magnet for all these myths, these conspiracies, these deep, enduring mysteries?
Well, the answer might start with just one number: 1,000. According to official estimates, there are over 1,000 significant cave systems honeycombing the walls of the Grand Canyon.
But here's the kicker. This is the part that really matters. Of those 1,000 plus caves, less than a third of them have ever been seriously explored. That means the vast majority, we're talking more than 2/3, are complete and total mysteries. In fact, many have never had a single human set foot inside. We literally have no idea what's in there.
And that's it right there. It's that huge, fundamental unknown that lets all these stories grow and thrive. The canyon isn't just big in a way we can see. It's filled with these enormous black holes in our actual knowledge. And those dark, unexplored spaces, well, they're the perfect canvas for our imagination. It's where we paint all of our biggest questions, our deepest fears, and our most incredible hopes about what could possibly be out there, hidden just out of sight.
So in the end, that's what we're left with. We're left to wonder. Is the story of the Grand Canyon really just what they tell us it is? Rock and water shaped over millions of years? Or is that just the surface? Is the canyon itself a kind of veil, hiding a history, and maybe a reality that is so much stranger, so much more profound than we could ever possibly imagine?